Morning, Mr. Pike.
Morning, Darren. Did Miss Bradley talk to you yesterday?
Oh, yes. 10 semi-skim, 10 full cream. They're all in there.
Yes. It is surprising, isn't it, the number of people who want it?
Want what, Mr. Pike?
Semi-skimmed.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Oh, good morning.
Yes. The milk he come. It's not he, Anna.
I don't know why you bother, she never understands.
I don't want this.
Eat it anyway, David. You're not going to school on an empty stomach.
You want the fry eggs, Mrs. Mayor?
Not today, thank you, Anna.
I'd better go. I'll miss the train.
What time is it? Where's your watch?
I took it in.
Why?
It was running slow.
No eggs, Anna.
I'm out of here.
Aren't you going to say goodbye?
No.
You're going to have to talk to him.
You're the expert. Why don't you?
I hate leaving you like this. You sure you're going to be all right?
Only a couple of weeks, and with Cully out of work.
They call it resting, Dad.
Still means you can look after me.
I hoped you'd be looking after me.
You can look after each other. Now, listen. I've left food in the freezer, and there's a
list
by
beside the fridge and the emergency telephone numbers next to the phone.
We'll be fine.
It's so unlike my mother to get ill. She hasn't had a day's illness in her life.
Well, you look after her and stop worrying about us.
That's right, Mum. And after a couple of weeks of your cooking,
She'll be back on her feet before you know it.
Seriously, Cully, you will call me if there's any problem.
I don't know what you're so worried about, Mum.
You don't know your father. If a case comes up...
I've been at home when he's working.
Yes, but I've always been there to take the brunt of it.
you make him sound like an ogre. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it. I could do with a bit of father-daughter bonding. Anyway, he isn't even on a case. She's gone. She said she'll phone tonight.
What?
Dad?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'll go and see about the lunch.
Actually, Cully, I think lunch is going to have to wait. Morning, Troy.
The young woman, mid-20s. She's not English. A couple of school kids found her this morning.
School kids. What are they doing here?
Well, there's a track. They all use it as a shortcut through to Course and Comprehensive.
Oh, your old alma mater, eh? Go on.
She was lying there, stark naked, strangled with a necktie.
That sounds familiar.
She's over there.
What, under the sheet?
Yeah.
Ah.
You Barnaby?
I am Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby, yes.
Dan Peterson, forensic.
Where's Dr. Bullard?
Corfu.
Oh.
He's on his holes, I'm standing in. Anyway, this one's a doddle. Death by strangulation. About 5 or 6 days ago, I'd guess.
A guess. I'd say a guess wasn't good enough.
All right. I'll get back to you.
No sign of a struggle.
No, she let whoever it was take her clothes off her.
Sergeant!
Bit of hanky-panky in the woods. Maybe she stripped for them.
Or maybe he, she, or they took her clothes off after she died.
Sir!
Yeah?
Over here. Watch your feet.
What is it, clay?
Yeah, there are patches of it all over the place. The clothes. Looks as if they've just been thrown here.
San Paulo.
Italy.
It's Brazil, I think, Troy.
Oh, there is one other thing. We may have had a bit of luck.
Your welcome change.
The Socko people found it when they got here, under some leaves. It's a Rolex.
Yes.
Must have slipped off someone's wrist. Maybe while he was, a man's watch. Trace the watch, find the man.
A man, anyway. Wait a minute. Of course this place is familiar. It's Strangler's Wood. They are. 9 years ago.
A bit before my time.
And mine. 3 girls murdered in the same area. Each one strangled with a tie.
Strangler's Wood.
Actually, it's Ravenswood. It was rechristened by the son. Eva Hoffman, is a German student, backpacking around England. Joan Chaplin, is a local girl, working at the Fox and Goose. And Judith Alveston, Australian au pair, also working locally.
Maybe this new girl's an au pair. Don't get many Brazilians round here.
That is very true, Troy. Maybe you should do a ring around to the agencies. Why do you think there's no photographs with those?
They're probably somewhere in records.
Well, I want them. I want everything connected with Ravenswood.
Right.
Oh, and get all the Rolex, would you? There's a number on the back of the case. At least a serial number should tell us where it was bought. And I suppose I should talk to whoever investigated those murders 9 years ago.
To George Meekham.
Oh.
Three murders in just under 2 years. I was the officer in charge. We never caught him, you know.
Yes, I read.
Of course, I never had the resources. And those girls, stupid bloody girls, why did they have to go into the wood? They never learned.
Did you think it was someone local who was responsible for it?
It had to be. Somebody who knew the wood like the back of his hand. And now you say there's been a fourth victim?
Looks like it.
I always said it would happen. I suppose you'll want me to come into Corston, help you with what I know.
Oh, I'm not sure that'll be quite necessary, sir. I'll send one of my men over to go through the files. I understand you live in the village?
Yes. I moved here after they made me retire. I live with my wife. Loose End House, that's what we call it.
Well, we'll be in touch. Thank you, sir.
You won't get him, you know. He got the better of me 3 times. He'll do the same to you.
Did you find him?
Yes. He was very encouraging. How about you?
No luck with the au pair agencies. I spoke to Peterson.
Peterson?
The pathologist. He puts a date of death as last Wednesday night, almost a week ago.
Time?
Between 9 and midnight. Oh, and I got onto Rolex.
And?
I know where the watch was bought.
Hello, dear. Did you have a good game?
Strangler's Wood.
Yes, I know. I heard about it in the village. Maybe you should talk to the police.
They've already spoken to me.
Did you tell them?
I didn't tell them anything. And if they come here, you'll do the same.
But if you were there, George, they'll find out.
Rolex. Oyster Perpetual GMT Master. You see?
Yeah, I can see that, sir.
It's very pricey. We don't sell very many of them.
So, would you have any idea who you sold that one to?
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Well, I'd have to look in my records.
Do you think you could do that, sir?
That's all right. He's very tetchy, isn't he? Yeah, here we are. 3411456. It's the number on the case, you see.
And the person who bought it?
It was a Mrs. Merrill.
I know that name.
Dear Kate, I was cleaning the bedroom of my 17-year-old son when I found a magazine hidden under his bed. To my horror, the magazine is called Gay News.
How did she survive?
And I don't know if I should confront him or pretend it never happened. Anna!
He's 17, for God's sake. He's a man.
Yes, Mrs. Mayor.
The door? Tell her to read the magazine herself and get a life.
Yes?
Hello, is Mrs. Kate Merrill in, please?
Mrs. Mayor? Yes?
It's two men.
Can I help you?
I take it that's your au pair?
Yes.
So I'm sorry she didn't give me a chance to explain. I'm Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby. This is Sergeant Troy, and we're from Causton CID.
It's not David, is it?
Or John.
I'm sorry?
David's my son, John's my husband.
Oh, no. We're investigating a murder in Ravenswood.
Oh, Strangler's Wood. They were talking about it in the village. Well, I'm Elizabeth Francis. I actually back onto the wood. A grandstand view. Except I didn't see anything. Well, we work together.
We write a column, an agony column, for the local newspaper.
Kate Merrill.
Yes.
I think I've read your column, maybe.
Oh, please, do sit down.
Thank you.
Can I get you some coffee?
No, thanks, not for me.
Dandelion tea?
Normally.
It was a young woman, wasn't it? In the wood.
And she hasn't been identified yet.
So what brings you here?
Troy?
You bought a Rolex watch, Mrs. Merrill.
Yes. About 2 years ago. It was an anniversary present for my husband.
When did you last see it?
Actually, he wasn't wearing it this morning. He said he'd put it into the repairs.
Is this your husband's watch?
Yes. I mean, it could be.
I think I should pop out and leave you three alone.
No, stay. This can't be John's watch. I told you he put it into repairs.
Is that what he told you?
Where is your husband, Mrs. Merrill?
In London. John's marketing director for Monarch Tobacco. He had a meeting with the advertising agency. He's staying overnight, but I can call him if you want.
No, I don't think that'll be necessary. But if he could give me a ring when he gets back tomorrow.
The number's on there.
Oh, thank you. Gavin Troy. Have we met?
No, I don't think so.
I feel I know your name.
It's a lovely house you have here, Mrs. Merrill. How long have you been here?
Oh, it must be about 8 years now.
No, 9. Just before the first...
Where did you find the watch?
In Ravenswood.
It can't be John's. It can't be.
Oh, I'm sure there's some simple explanation. Just get him to give me a call when he gets back.
She was nervous about something.
So what sort of agony column does she write, Troy?
I've only glanced at it, sir. It's just problems.
Don't look now, but we are being watched. No, don't look.
The house.
Garden.
He lied to me.
What?
About the watch.
Maybe he didn't.
He told me it was being repaired.
Well, why don't you ask him?
I think I will. What time is it?
10 to 6.
He should be in. Hello? Yes, could I speak to John Merrill, please? Oh, thank you. He's just gone out.
Dad, you haven't eaten any of it.
What?
Eggs, bacon, sausage, fried bread, all your favourites.
Oh, sorry.
It's all cold now. So what is it this time?
It's a South American girl. Actress or a model, by the look of it. There she is. Strangled in Ravenswood.
Wasn't that the...
Yes, it was. 3 cases in 18 months, but that was 9 years ago.
So why's he started again?
That's one question, certainly, but I have another. Why did he stop? No, all right, I'm good. Barnaby. Oh, that is excellent, Troy. Yes, yes, I'll meet you there. May have an ID on that girl in the wood. Maid who works in the local hotel.
Dad, I was going to say, why don't we go out for dinner tonight? We've tried that new place in Coulston, the one you've been going on about.
Yeah. Why don't we meet there?
8 o'clock, table for 2?
I wasn't planning to invite Troy.
I knew it was her. As soon as I saw the paper, I would have told the manager, Mr. Pike, but he's not here.
Where is he?
London. This is her room.
And she booked this room for the week.
That was a week ago, yes. She was here one night and then she never came back.
C.C. Carla Constanza. Was that the name she checked in with?
Yes.
Did you speak to her?
I don't think she spoke much English. I helped with her bags, that one and another.
Clothes are still here, sir.
Were you here when she checked in, Miss Bradley?
Just call me Gloria. Everyone else does. Except Mr. Pike. Yes, I was here. I was working reception. It was a Wednesday, about 4:30. It was very quiet that afternoon. There were no advance bookings, and Mr. Pike wasn't expecting anyone, but then she just turned up. Good afternoon, can I help you? I got the feeling straight away that she was nervous. She was out of breath. It was like she'd been running.
Was there anyone with her?
Just the taxi driver.
And she paid for the whole week?
Yes, she paid by credit card. She asked me for a downstairs room, so I gave her this one. Even though there's a much nicer view on the first floor.
Did you see her again?
No. But I heard her. That same day, it must have been about an hour later, 5:30. I went past her room and I heard her voice. There was someone in with her and they were having a right old Barney.
Was it a man or a woman?
I'm not sure. She was shouting at someone, but I couldn't understand a word she was saying. And then she threw something. I didn't know whether to call Mr. Pike or not, but it wasn't my business. And anyway, it was the end of my shift, so I didn't.
Did you see her the next day?
No. But she had had an argument. She'd thrown an ashtray at someone. But it was in the fireplace, and there was broken glass and cigarette ends all over the floor.
Sir, there's one entry for Wednesday. It's a Dracod.
Oh, well, that's Mr. Pike now. Well, he always hoots like that, to let his mother know he's back.
Can I help you?
Yes, we're from Coulston CID.
The police?
I'm Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby.
DS Troy.
Why? What are you doing here? Miss Bradley?
I called them, Mr. Pike.
Why?
The South American lady in room 15. She's been strangled.
What?
In Strangler's Wood.
No, that's not possible. I mean, have you taken the papers up yet to Mother?
No.
Well, don't. I don't want her upset. Do you understand?
Mr. Pike, I was wondering if we could have a word.
I bought this hotel 10 years ago. Yes, that's when it started. One of the girls who was killed, Joan Chaplin, she actually worked here.
So I understand.
She was very close to my mother. That's why I don't want her to know anything about all this. She was very upset. Very, very upset.
Well, I'm afraid we may have to speak to her.
No, that's not possible. She's ill. She's dying. She has cancer of the pancreas, stomach. Just about everywhere. She's upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's been dying for about 6 years now. We're getting used to it.
So what can you tell us about Carla Constanza?
Nothing. She had room 15. She paid with American Express.
Did you not see her at all?
No, Miss Bradley booked her in and she must have left some time after that same evening.
But you weren't working that evening?
Yes, I was here behind the reception, but I went up to the first floor a couple of times to see Mother. And anyway, there's more than one exit Miss Costanza could have used.
Didn't it trouble you, the fact that she never came back?
Not at all. She paid for her room. What she did with it was her concern.
So there's nothing else you can tell us about Carla Constanza?
No. Yes. She made 2 telephone calls.
That Wednesday? I don't suppose your telephone system...
Oh, yes, it's very up to date. Both the numbers will have been recorded.
Two numbers, both local, one in Corston. 5 o'clock and 5 past.
Oh, 1225, we know that one, Troy.
Do we?
It's the Merrills, Kate and John Merrill.
Oh, Mr. Rolex. According to that, they spoke for 45 seconds. Maybe they arranged to meet.
Maybe.
Leonard,
I brought your morning medication, Mother.
who were those 2 men that were here?
What 2 men?
I saw them out of the window.
They were policemen. They came here to warn me.
Warn you?
There are some false £20 notes in circulation. It was nice of them. Thoughtful. How are you feeling today, Mother?
I'm in pain.
You'll feel better later on.
If the Lord wanted me to feel better, he'd put me out of my misery. But he wants me to suffer. He's still punishing me.
I'll come up at lunchtime, Mother.
I haven't had my paper.
You didn't come. I'll give them a call. You can read your Bible. You're on Ezekiel, aren't you? You like Ezekiel?
Monarch Tobacco.
The second number Carla Constanza rang.
Yeah, I've been to Corston quite a bit, yeah. I've been to that place. Corston Art. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're there...
Down?
In Corston, yeah, I'll probably see you down there.
You, Barnaby.
Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby, yes.
Sergeant... Bill Mitchell, Chairman, Managing Director. In fact, it's my bloody company. So what can I do for you? Local charity, is it? Policeman's ball? Widows and orphans? I'm usually good for a bob or two.
Actually, sir, we're here in connection with a murder inquiry.
What? Are you joking?
Young woman's body found in Ravenswood.
What's it got to do with me?
Does the name Carla Constanza mean anything to you, sir?
Carla? Wasn't her, was it? Well, this is Carla, our biggest selling brand of cigarette. Won't find them over here. We sell a bit in the Asian market, but in Brazil, they're the market leader, the numero uno.
And they were named after her?
Yes, Carla Constanza. Gorgeous girl with the acting talent of a flea. We found her in some bloody awful Brazilian soap and used her to promote Carla the cigarette. It's just a coincidence they shared the same name.
And was it a success?
I'll say. Put her on TV and in posters. She spearheaded our advertising for 2 years. In that time, she became a star, and the brand just rocketed. And now you're telling me she's dead? Christ, it's a bloody disaster.
When did you last see her?
Oh, a couple of months ago, out in Rio. Went out for the shoot, an ad we still haven't released. Do you realise how bad this is? Carla has a 22% share of the 5th biggest tobacco market in the world.
We are talking about a young woman's death, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about relaunching, repackaging, scrapping thousands of pounds worth of advertising, maybe losing the whole brand. That happens, I could lose the whole bloody shebang.
Did you know that Miss Constanza was coming to England?
No. She never told me.
You didn't get a call from her? Last Wednesday evening about 5 o'clock?
No. Look, we have 200 extensions here. She could have been put through to anyone.
Do you know what could have brought her to this country?
No. You should talk to John Merrill, my marketing manager. He's the one who hired her. He knew her better than me.
I understand he's in London.
Yes, he's due back on the 4 o'clock train. Are you going to release the name to the press?
Oh, yes, we'll have to.
Oh, Christ! Do you have any idea what this is going to do to me? It's a complete bloody nightmare.
We're very sorry, sir.
I'd appreciate a copy of that last advert you made, sir. And corporate brochure. You got one of those you could let me have? For background on the company.
Ask my secretary. Anything else?
I don't suppose the name Draycott means anything to you?
Draycott? No. Never heard of him. Why do you ask?
No reason.
So where now?
John Merrill's, I think. He should be home by now if he caught the 4 o'clock train. Yes, Troy, 5:30. Overtime.
Just checking.
Do you have a problem?
No.
Carla Constanza.
Yes, Kate. I heard it on the news. Has Bill rung?
Not yet.
Surprise me. You know he'll blame me for this, don't you? He'll probably accuse me of killing her as well.
He won't be the only one.
What?
The police were here yesterday.
What do you mean? Why?
They found a watch near the body. A Rolex. It's your Rolex.
Of course it's not mine.
Then where is it?
I told you.
You lied to me.
It wasn't a lie! I lost it. I didn't want to tell you. It would have just meant another row. I was going to replace it and hope that you didn't notice.
So why didn't you?
I lost it a week ago. There's a 3-month waiting list for a new one. You don't believe me, do you? Do you? So, I mean, what, do you think I killed her? Is that it? You think I killed her and left the watch in the wood?
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't have to.
She was strangled, John. She was strangled.
For God's sake. to do something about that boy. He's always snooping and prying and listening. There's something wrong with him.
You should talk.
Now, don't start that again.
I'm not going to. The police are here.
Looks like he's home.
Yes.
That's interesting.
What?
Oh, use your eyes, try. White clay. Remember where the body was found in Ravenswood?
It's the same.
Might be, Troy.
First he leaves his watch. Now this. He's certainly making it easy for us.
Yes. It does look like my watch. Well, all I can say is that someone must have taken it. I mean, I haven't been near Ravenswood.
You take it off outside the house?
Nope.
Have you had any visitors, any builders, decorators, anything like that?
No.
Well, is there anyone else who could have taken it while you were here?
Well, I suppose Kate.
I didn't take it.
Anna.
Your au pair?
Yes. I don't wear it in the bath, so I suppose she might have...
So what can you tell us about Carla Constanza?
What do you want to know?
Well, what was your relationship with her?
I didn't have a relationship. Not in my wife's sense of the word. She writes an agony column, you know.
I told them.
When did you last speak to her?
My wife or Carla? In Rio. I was there a few months ago with Bill.
And you didn't know she was coming to this country?
Well, she never said anything.
You didn't speak to her last week?
Nope.
We know she rang here, sir. Last Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
The night she was killed?
Well, she may well have rung here, but I was out. I never get in much before 6.
And what about you, Mrs. Merrill?
I was at the paper. I got back the same time as John.
Do you have an answering machine?
Yes, but there was no messages. I'm sure of it.
And what about your movements for the rest of that night? Were you both in?
I went out at 7. I got back at midnight. Oh, it's the same every Wednesday, Chief Inspector. I do a stint on the local helpline. I'm a volunteer.
Kate's very good with problems, Chief Inspector. Other people's, anyway.
Anna left with me. I gave her a lift into Corston. She went dancing, I think.
So you were in the house alone?
Yes. Well, there was David. Yes. 2 chapters of rolled dahl and a glass of warm milk. That was my evening.
Babysitting?
Got it in one.
Detective Inspector, may I ask you something?
But of course, yes.
Whoever did this, do you think it was the same person it was all those years ago?
Oh, it's too early to say, Mrs. Merrill.
They were strangled too, weren't they? 3 other girls.
I'm afraid they were, yes. Oh, Anna! I'm very glad to see you.
Well? Her English isn't very good.
Last Wednesday...
Miércoles.
The answering machine. Was there a message?
Estaba un mensaje de una Carla Constanza.
Wednesday? No, there was no message. No message at all.
Are you going out, Anna?
No, Mrs. Mayor, I'm going out.
She's always in Corston, pubs and discos and boys. You will let me know, won't you, if there's any news?
We will keep you informed, Mrs. Merrill. Here. That was very impressive, Troy. Didn't know you spoke Portuguese.
It was Spanish, sir. I've been going to night classes.
You certainly got through to her. What do you make of Kate Merrill?
She seemed nervy.
Yes, but why?
Lights out, David.
Was that the police?
How do you know? You shouldn't eavesdrop, David. What have I told you? You'll only hear things you wish you hadn't.
You and Dad were arguing again.
We weren't arguing. We were talking loudly.
Do they think he did it?
No, of course not. Anyway, he was here with you the night it happened, so he couldn't have.
Yeah. He was here most of the time.
Come on, lights out. And don't waken up too early.
Night. Mum.
David, what did you mean, most of the time?
What?
Your dad.
Oh, he went out for a bit. I heard his car.
When?
I don't know, it was dark.
And he left you on your own?
No, I know he's back, I think. I don't know. Maybe I just dreamed it.
Yes, that's probably it. One of your dreams. Now go to sleep.
I've come to say goodnight to David.
You're too late. He's already asleep.
Kelly! Kelly?
Kelly.
It's all right, Dad. You've already explained.
Oh, it's very bad of me. I'm sorry.
It's not the end of the world. I got 2 free margaritas and a proposal from the head waiter. You going to eat this, or shall I just throw it away now?
You sound just like your mother. Actually, I do have a surprise for you to make up for last night.
Yes.
Remember that play you wanted to see in Causton?
Pinter, I thought it was sold out.
Oh, it is, but I have 2 tickets.
When?
For tonight, if you're still talking to me.
Dad.
Tonight at 7:30. I'll meet you there.
I'll call you to make sure.
I promise I will not forget.
2 free tickets. Can't think how you managed to get them.
No, I'm sorry. We're sold out.
You sure there's nothing left?
Of course, I'm sure I've just told you.
I don't think you quite understand. I am Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby from Causton CID.
Oh, yes.
And I have to see this play as part of an investigation.
Detective Chief Inspector... It was you that investigated that man who got his throat cut in the Peter Schaefer play.
That's right.
But you don't think it'll happen again, do you?
You know, Troy, that's the first time I've ever done that.
What?
Pulled rank.
I got that video you wanted.
What video?
Carla Constanza's last advert. Sent round this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Hey. Look over there. That's Hannah.
The Merrill's au pair. Hello, Anna.
Buenos dias.
Yes.
You shopping?
Shopping? Yes. I get this for Mrs. Mayer. She sent me in the shopping. For Mrs. Mayer.
So, you plan to spend a long time with the Merrills?
Yes?
You like it there?
Thank you.
You know, I don't think she understood a word I said.
They're probably cheaper if they don't speak the language.
Come on.
Carla. So existe uma Carla. E ela sabe o que ela quer. Sem dúvida é suave. Sem dúvida é Carla.
I didn't think they were allowed to advertise like that.
This is Brazil.
Do you want me to translate, sir?
No, I think I get the message, Troy. Carla the girl, Carla the cigarette. Kill the one, and you'll probably kill the other. Maybe that's why she was strangled.
What, to destroy the business?
Yeah, that's right.
What about the other 3 girls, 9 years ago?
There are 2 important differences, Troy. The first 3 girls were attacked in the wood, raped and strangled. Carla wasn't sexually assaulted at all. And looking at the body, I'd say she wasn't attacked in the wood. It's more likely she was strangled somewhere else, and then carried there.
To make it look like the other deaths?
Yeah, exactly.
Barnaby?
Mr. Meekham.
So, have you got anything? No, you haven't, have you? He's invisible.
How did you get in here?
You think they'd stop me? I spent 20 years in this building. This is my office right here. Listen to me, Barnaby. I've been going through my notes. I've got them here.
Listen, Mr. Meekham, I understand that you want to help.
And don't patronize me. You haven't lived with this like I have.
It is my case now, my responsibility. You just go home, leave it.
No. Listen to me, please.
Troy.
I'll show you out, sir.
Listen to me. Eva Hoffman, the 13th day of the month. Friday the 13th, Joan Chaplin, a full moon. The classic serial killing. Judith Alberston, just 8 days after Joan.
What are you talking about?
Today is the 13th. It's 8 days since the last death. And there's a full moon tonight. Don't you see?
No.
Well, the killer will. There'll be another victim.
Come on, sir.
I tell you, he's going to kill again.
So, what have we got? We're going to run with the man who's been seeing his secretary, the mother and her gay son, the nervous bride, and, letter of the week, the man with the non-existent sperm count. Letter of the week in more ways than one. Kate.
Sorry, Liz, I was miles away.
It's your deadline tomorrow. God, all these sex problems. And I suffer from the worst one of all. I can't get any.
Do you ever regret it, Liz? The divorce?
Not as much as I regret the marriage. I miss about 8 inches of Larry. I'm not referring to the diameter of his brain. Are you all right, Kate?
Yeah.
I mean you and John.
I don't want to talk about him.
Call me if you need me. It's all right, Anna. I can see myself out.
Thank you.
David, what did you mean?
Well, he went out for a bit. I heard his car.
When?
I don't know. It was dark.
And he left you on your own?
No. Anna was back, I think. I don't know. Maybe I just dreamed it.
Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I never forget a name. Well, it's my business, of course. I take it you're still pursuing your investigations?
Oh, yes.
Yes, of course. How can I help you? Because if there's anything I can do to help...
Oh, I appreciate that, sir. It's my belief that Carla Constanza was picked up by a car from this hotel on the evening of her death.
You think so?
It's possible. I've got a couple of photographs here I'd like you to take a look at.
Certainly.
One of them might just jog your memory.
Where's your assistant, the young man?
Oh, it's his birthday. Said he could have a drink in the bar.
I'll be back in a jiffy, Mrs. Pike.
No. I don't know him. Who is he?
He owns a tobacco company.
Monarch?
Yeah.
We get some of their people in for lunch sometimes. Disgusting habit. Smoking, I mean. But I've never seen him.
How about this one?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
He was here on Wednesday night?
No, I didn't see anyone on Wednesday night, but he used to come quite regularly. Mr. Jones.
Jones? That's what he called himself?
Called himself, yes. Of course I knew it wasn't his real name. We do have people who use this hotel, how shall I put it, on a nightly basis with a lady.
He brought a woman here?
Exactly.
Mrs. Jones?
That's what he called her.
What was she like?
Aged about 40. Smart dresser. Fair hair. She always drank dandelion tea.
Are you sure they only used the name Jones? Never heard him use the name Draycott?
No.
When were they last here?
At the start of the year, they used to come quite regularly. Makes you sick, really, doesn't it? The thought of it. Casual sex. But I haven't seen them recently, and they certainly weren't here on Wednesday.
I'm Detective Sergeant Troy.
You were here the other day, I saw you.
Yes.
You were here about the £20 notes.
Sorry?
The forgeries.
I'm afraid we're investigating something a little more serious than that.
What? Oh, tell me.
We're investigating a death.
Where?
A young woman was found in Ravenswood about a week ago. She was staying in this hotel. She'd been...
Strangled?
Yes.
With a tie?
Yes. Apparently you knew one of the girls who was killed 9 years ago, Joan Chaplin. Are you all right?
Get out!
What?
Get out of here!
This is a police investigation. Maybe we can talk when you're feeling better.
Many happy returns of the day, Sergeant.
What?
Any luck?
They're all mad in there.
Did you find Mrs. Pike?
Yeah, she got a bit excitable.
Not too excitable, I hope.
Vengeance. Vengeance is mine.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, that makes two of us, darling. Jesus Christ, it's a mess. Now I've got the press at the door. You know what the reptiles are like.
John was involved with Carla, wasn't he?
What?
When you were over in Rio, the two of them...
No.
If I found out about it, I'd divorce him. He'd lose his job, the house. David.
What are you going on about? Do you want a drink?
No.
Well, I do. G&T, Brian, and steady on the tonic.
Certainly, Mr. Mitchell.
You sure?
The police found John's watch in the wood, next to the body.
That's not possible.
And then there was the clay on the car. They said it was the same as in the wood.
Kate!
It's not just that. There's much more.
You don't think he killed her? I'm sorry, Kate, but that's ridiculous. I mean, John's many things. Difficult, moody, secretive. But a killer? I think you better line these up.
Do you have a telephone? I need to make a call.
Hello, Barnaby. Oh, I'm afraid that's not possible, but we could meet tomorrow. Of course I do. No, wait.
Who was it?
That was Kate Merrill. She says she knows who killed Carla Constanza. She says she has proof.
6:45.
I am aware of the time, Troy. I'm supposed to be at Causton Playhouse in 15 minutes. Oh, it's the bloody answer phone. She must have left already.
Would it help if I stayed? I could talk to Mrs. Merrill.
Well, that's very kind of you, Troy, but I think it's me she wants to see. You could do me a favour, though.
Gavin? Oh, I don't believe it.
Look, it wasn't his fault. Something came up. He asked me to give you these.
Do you know sometimes he is completely impossible?
Most of the time, yeah.
I don't suppose you're free this evening.
I did Pinter for GCSE. Didn't understand it much, son.
I'll explain in the interval. Drinks on me?
Whatever you say, yeah.
I'm going out.
Tonight?
Yes, tonight. Now.
George.
Don't start, Emily. I don't know when I'll be back. Don't wait up for me.
The green mantis, a prestigious
Where did you find this, Mrs. Merrill?
At the back of his wardrobe, all crumpled up.
How did you know it would be there?
I didn't. I was just looking. I didn't know what I was going to find. It's her lipstick, isn't it?
You can't be sure.
It is.
Where's your husband now?
Working late. David's at a friend's. That's why I had to see you now. The watch. Car. Now this. He had a motive. If David was right and he was out that night.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to arrest him?
I don't know. I want to know the truth.
In a hurry, John.
Bill.
Wish you'd tell me what the bloody hell's going on.
Oh, I'm seeing the advertising people tomorrow.
I don't mean just business. I'm talking about you and Kate.
Bill, this isn't the place. I can't talk now.
Well, where are you going?
Home.
Well, I suggest we talk pretty damn soon about Kate and about Carla. Because to be honest, John, you're becoming a bloody liability.
Do you know why I haven't arrested your husband, Mrs. Merrill?
No.
It's because all the evidence against him is circumstantial. And this just seems too deliberate.
Maybe he wanted it to be found. Maybe he wanted me to know.
No, it's just like the watch. It feels planted.
But who by? He only ever takes the watch off in the house, and there's been nobody there. Just me, Liz.
And Anna?
There's something else you should know about my husband. He enjoys strangling me in bed. He liked to put a rope around my neck while we made love. When we first moved here at the time of the first killings. And recently, he tried to do it again. I know it's him. I'm certain of it. And I'm afraid of him.
It's quite an interesting one, this one. I've not had one of these before.
A Portuguese?
The cause of death.
It wasn't a car.
No, that broke a few bones. But what killed her was an injection. Here, in the neck.
Injection of what?
Liquid nicotine. Someone pumped her with enough to kill a dozen Portuguese.
Nicotine?
Same as you get in cigarettes. All you need to do is extract the nicotine from half a pack and you've got enough to kill. Not a lot of people know that. probably just as well.
Monarch Tobacco.
Yes. Still haven't had your full report on Carla Constanza.
She was strangled in Strangler's Wood with a tie. What else do you want to know?
Everything.
First Carla, then this? Oh, it's abso-bloody unbelievable.
Did you know Anna Santa Rosa, sir?
No. Well, I met her once or twice when I was in the house.
And when was the last time you were in the Merrills' house?
Oh, about a month ago. Look, she was an au pair who didn't speak much English. Hardly registered in the Richter scale.
She was killed with an injection of liquid nicotine.
What? I thought...
Do you keep liquid nicotine here?
Yes, we have an extensive research facility.
And who has access?
Me, various departmental heads, security, not John.
He doesn't have a key?
Well, not to my knowledge, but it's not a key. All the doors are on electronic codes.
Did you happen to see John Merrill last night?
Well, as a matter of fact, I bumped into him in the car park. Actually, he seemed in rather a hurry. Oh, no. Wait a minute. He was just on his way home.
Do you know where he is now?
We believe the death of Carla Constanza does not damage the image of Carla the cigarette. In fact, if positioned correctly, it will actually strengthen the brand.
John, can I have a word?
I found what you had to say very interesting. But I'm afraid it's going to have to wait. You know, I was a research chemist once, working in hyperactivity in children, the tyrosine metabolism. Maybe I'd have found a cure. But then my grant was pulled, and Kate got me a job with her Uncle Bill, Monarch Tobacco.
Bill Mitchell?
He's her uncle, didn't you know? Yes, I have an agony aunt for a wife and an uncle for an employer. I'm well looked after.
Is he married?
Bill? No, he's divorced. Something I suppose I should be looking forward to. Do you think I killed her? Carla? And Anna? Kate does. She's moved David out of the house. She's avoiding me.
Can you tell us where you were last night, sir? Between 7 and 9 o'clock?
At work. And then at home, on my own. I understand Kate was with you.
How about the night of Wednesday the 5th?
I've told you I never left the house. Talk to Liz. Elizabeth Francis. She rang me. Must have been about 10 o'clock. We talked for 10, 20 minutes.
How would you describe your relationship with Mrs. Francis?
We're friends. God, you have been busy, haven't you? We were lovers. Past tense. It's over.
You used to meet at the Fox and Goose.
Yes.
Why not her house?
Well, you obviously haven't met her neighbours. If she tips the paper boy, they know how much.
I shouldn't have thought a hotel like that Fox and Goose was any safer.
Well, there wasn't anywhere else. Anyway, Liz enjoyed the sense of adventure. Sneaking in, using false names.
Jones?
Yes.
You didn't use any other names, did you? You never booked in in the name of Draycott?
No.
That name doesn't mean anything to you?
No, why should it?
Carla Constanza had a meeting on Wednesday the 5th. We found the name Draycott in her diary.
Yeah, well, I never used that name, and I told you I was at home on the 5th. I never left the house.
Your son says differently.
Yeah, well, maybe he had a bad dream. Look, Detective Inspector, I've had about as much of this as I can take.
Mr. Merrill, your watch was found at the scene of the crime, and it appears your car was there as well. We have one of your shirts smeared with lipstick, which we have positively identified as Carla Costanza's. You knew both the victims, and you have no witness, nobody, who can tell us where you were at the time of either death.
Yes. Fine. So why don't you arrest me for murder and get it over with?
They let him go.
Where is he now?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I only stayed with him because of David. And David's more troubled than ever. You don't mind him staying this weekend, do you?
I'll enjoy his company. He's already asked me to take him out on the boat tomorrow.
Mom! Coming.
You don't really think it was John, do you?
I don't want to talk about it. Is it all ready to go then? Yep.
Yes, I telephoned John last Wednesday. We spoke for about a quarter of an hour. Tea for you, Sergeant. It's ginseng.
Thank you.
It'll revitalize your energy points. You have to look after them.
Mrs. Francis.
Oh, Liz, please.
Liz, you were having an affair with John Merrill.
Well, I wouldn't call it that. We were having sex. Good old-fashioned rumpy-pumpy.
This is a delicate question. Did he ever introduce a ligature, a rope into your liaisons?
You've been speaking to Kate. I've never known an agony aunt so full of angst. Yes, he liked to put it around my neck. It was a fetish. But I didn't like it, so I told him to stop.
Was that why it ended, the affair?
No, that was my fault. I got drunk one night and made the fatal mistake. I wrote to him. Sort of letter you regret the moment it's posted.
What did you say?
Oh, the usual sort of thing. He didn't love his wife. We were great together. He wanted out, I wanted in, so...
When was this?
About a month ago.
And how did he react?
He denied ever receiving it. Said it was lost in the post. The truth is, of course, he didn't want to know.
Why did you telephone him on Wednesday?
I was missing him. I knew I'd blown it, but I thought we could talk. I telephoned a couple of times, left messages. Finally got him about 10. So you see, he was in the house.
He could have still slipped out. After 10 and before midnight. Plenty of time to kill Carla Constanza.
You realize she's told us why Anna Santa Rosa was killed?
Did she?
Elizabeth Francis left 2 messages on the answering machine at the Merrills' house. But do you remember what Anna told us?
Wednesday? No, there was no message. No message at all.
She hardly spoke a word of English, yet she was determined to make herself understood.
Because she was lying?
Oh, yeah. Carla was on the phone to the Merrills' house for 45 seconds, just long enough to leave a message. And of course, the message would be in Portuguese, the one language Anna understood.
And so whatever Carla said
gave her ammunition to try a little blackmail.
But who was she blackmailing?
You keep your eyes on the road, Troy. And we had enough death. Oh, I don't deserve all this, I really don't.
I thought we ought to celebrate. Mum rang. She said she's coming back tomorrow.
Oh, that's marvellous. Here, Mother's...
Granny decided she was getting better faster on her own. Anyway, she's on the 2 o'clock train.
Oh, that's great, I was missing her.
You didn't even think about her.
I certainly did. Several times. What's all this then?
Roast lamb and potatoes, broccoli and fresh peas.
It's all right, I'm not going to answer it. Oh, it could be your mother.
Dad. All right, then, answer it.
I'll be right back. Hello, Barnaby.
Who found him? Gloria, the maid. He left the tap running and the water came in through the reception.
Show me.
Ah, it's a full-time job being around you two. No wonder Dr. Bullard needed a holiday.
Tell me.
Repeated lacerations, none of them very deep. Chest, hand, face. One of them got him in the throat. That's the one that killed him.
The door wasn't locked?
I just don't get it.
What?
The connection. Carla Constanza, Anna Santa Rosa, and now this.
It's a bloody connection, all right. I can see it all too clearly. And all of this could have been prevented.
But you know who did it?
As a matter of fact, I think I do.
Well, who is it?
Do you really want to know? I think it was you.
I'm afraid she's dying, Chief Inspector.
I think you'll find she's been doing that for quite some time, Doc.
Well, medically speaking, she should have gone already. It's only her willpower that's been keeping her going.
And now she has no reason to live.
Exactly. I'll leave you with her.
Thank you. Mrs. Pike? Can you hear me? Mrs. Pike? My name is Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby, and I think you've met Sergeant Troy.
You're not needed.
We have to ask you a few questions. We have to know. You killed your son. It was because you knew what he'd done all those years ago.
Yes.
He killed 3 girls. Ava Hoffman, Joan Chaplin, and Judith Alveston. And you found out about it.
He was an abomination.
But you didn't go to the police.
Flesh of my flesh. I couldn't go to the police. I couldn't. But I warned him. It must never happen again. Never while I'm alive. Never.
Mrs. Pike.
Leave it, Troy. You've got no reason to stay. That's why the killer stopped after 3 girls. His mother found out. And she spent the next 9 years watching him, protecting him.
But he didn't kill Carla Constanza.
No. Whoever killed Carla Constanza wanted it to look like one of the earlier killings, strangled in Strangler's Wood. Remember when we told Leonard about the killing?
No, that's not possible. I mean, have you taken the papers up yet to Mother?
He knew there couldn't have been a fourth murder because he himself was the killer.
And he didn't want his mother to see the paper?
No, because he knew she'd jumped to the wrong conclusion. She knew nothing about Carla Constanza.
Until I went into her room and told her. So did John Merrill kill Carla or didn't he?
You want the truth? I don't know. Carla's death could bring down Monarch Tobacco. Could ruin Bill Mitchell.
But John Merrill wouldn't mind that.
Maybe. But if he did kill the girl, why incriminate himself? And if someone did plant those clues, what had John Merrill done to deserve that? And then there's Draycott.
The mysterious Mr. Draycott.
Mr. Draycott and Mrs. Draycott, all we know is that Carla arrives in this country and goes directly to a 2 o'clock meeting. Then she comes down here, books into a hotel, and at 5:30, according to the maid, she has an argument. But we still don't know who with.
Maybe that was Draycott.
As far as we're concerned, Draycott doesn't exist.
Do you want to go back to the office?
No, I do not. I want to go home and see my wife. But first, there's something I have to do. I was hoping to speak to your husband, Mrs. Meekham.
George isn't at home.
I was going to tell him that we have found the man who killed those girls in Strangler's Wood.
Oh.
I'd be glad if you kept it confidential for 24 hours. He was a hotel manager, name of Leonard Pike. He was a local man, lived in the area.
And you have him?
Leonard Pike is dead.
Chief Inspector, can I show you something? After he retired, George became completely obsessed with the killings. That's why we moved here. He couldn't bear to be away.
These photographs.
He stole them from the files. And there's more. He used to put them on and go into the wood. Sometimes he'd spend the whole night there. He said he was trying to become the killer, to get into his mind. I started following him, you know, because after that other girl was found, I even began to wonder if George...
Emily?
It's over, George. We're selling this house and we're leaving this horrible, horrible place. It's over. We can finally go.
All right, David, got everything?
Where's my life jacket?
Oh, you don't really need one, do you? Here, catch. You sorry your dad's not joining us?
No, not really.
No, didn't think you would be.
Joyce!
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Kelly, where's your mum?
Oh, we've just carried her luggage upstairs. She's probably catching her breath.
Right. What did you say just then?
What?
Of course. That is it. Yeah, I've got to go. You tell your mother.
Cully, was that Tom?
Sorry. Have you got the pathologist report from Peterson yet?
No.
Right, you come with me. I want you to look something up for me.
Sir?
Look on the internet, newspaper libraries, main police computer, anywhere.
Right.
It's a name. Acott. Not Draycott, but Acott. Dr. Acott. A-Y-C-O-T-T, okay?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Peterson! Your report on Carla Constanza.
It's just come off the photocopier. I was going to send it over.
You're too late. She was sick, wasn't she? She had some sort of illness.
How did you know?
Just tell me what it was.
Pulmonary emphysema.
And the cause?
Smoking. A few more months and she'd have been breathing out of an oxygen bag. A couple of years, she'd be dead. Whoever strangled her probably did her a favour.
Mr. Barnaby?
Yeah?
There's a message for you.
Thank you. Dr. Ian Acott was killed last week in Harley Street. Fire in his clinic. The police are still investigating. Got it. Carla Constanza came to this country because she was ill. She went straight to Dr. Acott. Just a bad handwriting made it look like Draycott. And that was when she was told the worst. After that, she came here. What was it Gloria the maid told us? When Carla arrived, she was out of breath, as if she'd been running.
Good afternoon, can I help you?
But it was her illness. She was like that all the time. You know, that's what puzzled me. Why did she request a room on the ground floor?
Because she couldn't manage the stairs?
Yes. And the Fox and Goose doesn't have a lift.
But who was it in her room?
I don't think anybody was in her room. Gloria only ever heard one voice, Carla's. I think she was shouting at herself, shouting at the injustice of it all.
Se ese carro estamos matando. Eu tenho una doença. Idiota. Você vai pagar. Merda.
And when she saw that ashtray full of cigarette ends, the very cause of her illness,
She just threw it against the wall.
Exactly, in a fit of anger. But then anger was what it was all about.
So where are we going?
I think we'll start with the Merrill's house. I'll drive.
You're drunk.
Why not, Kate? Why not? You think I'm a killer. The police think I'm a killer. Maybe I should prove you all right.
You know what's been bugging me all this time, Troy? Whoever took Carla Constanza into Strangler's wood was trying to create a smokescreen, trying to divert our attention.
They wanted us to think she was just another victim like the others.
Certainly. But at the same time, lipstick on the shirt, clay on the car, a lost watch. Somebody was trying desperately hard to point the finger at John Merrill.
Do you know who?
Yes. Finally think I do.
You don't like your dad, do you, David?
No?
Is that why you did it? Come on, you can tell your Uncle Bill. Had to be you who took that watch. And the rest of it. There isn't anybody else. You want the police to arrest your dad?
Yes.
So you found the body. And you went back with your dad's watch, put clay on his car, even smeared his shirt with her lipstick. You're watching too much television, David. You've been a very naughty boy. But you know, if anything happened to you now, no one would ever know.
Inside. What happened?
Nothing. Nothing.
She tried to stab me.
She thought I was going to kill her, so she tried to stab me.
Mrs. Merrill, you have to tell me. Where's your son? Where's David? I always thought the evidence against John Merrill was too crude, too childish. I mean, that Rolex watch. It's pure Agatha Christie.
So David Merrill was trying to incriminate his own father?
He must have stumbled across the body on the way to school. And that's when he had his big idea.
Why? What has he got against his dad?
Elizabeth Francis. He must have found out his dad was having an affair. This was a month before all this began.
I wrote to him. Sort of letter you regret the moment it's posted.
But John Merrill claimed he never got the letter.
Somehow David must have got hold of it first. Read it. Found out his father was having the affair and planning to leave. And when, a month later, he chances on the body, decides to have his revenge.
But if John Merrill didn't kill her, who did?
Bill Mitchell, of course.
Not back yet.
Carla Constanza made 2 telephone calls from the Fox and Goose. John Merrill wasn't in, so she left a message for him. But she must have got through to Bill Mitchell at Monarch.
And she told him?
Yeah. And look at it from his point of view. Carla Constanza, the personification of smoking. Dying slowly from a smoker's disease.
They would have been ruined.
Yeah. That's why he took the gamble. She was dying anyway. But if she died in Strangler's Wood... He must have picked her up from the hotel, pretended to reason with her, but in fact he just wanted her on her own. He wasn't to know that Carla had already telephoned John Merrill.
Seus cigarros estão me matando. Eu tenho uma doença. Eu vou encontrar com Bill Mitchell hoje à noite. Você vai pagar.
Anna Santa Rosa heard that message. It was in her own language. And it must have told her enough for her to try a little blackmail.
Messages deleted.
And that was a big mistake. Bill Mitchell was playing for higher stakes. He didn't hesitate. Killed her too.
And what about Dr. Aycott? Did he kill him?
Yes. He had to get rid of Carla's medical records. As a matter of fact, Draycott, or Dr. Aycott, was what gave him away.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember when you asked him about the name?
Draycott? No. Never heard of him. Why do you ask?
No reason. The way he smiled. He knew we got it wrong. And he also knew that Draycott was a man. Never heard of him, he said. We didn't tell him that.
So much killing.
And now he's alone with David Merrill.
Sir! He's here!
Mr. Mitchell. Where's the boy?
I couldn't kill him. He's a complete little shit, but he's a child. Couldn't do it.
Hello, you. How's your mum?
She's fine.
Oh, good.
So how was the father-daughter bonding?
Well, that didn't quite happen.
Yes, I heard. I'm afraid you're not Cully's favourite person.
Where is she?
She's out. She's got a new boyfriend. Actually, I think he's a policeman, too.
You're not serious.
Yes. And so is she, I think.
Oh, no. No, well, it can't be.
Oh, it's good to be home.